Hey friends, how are you? You are driving with me, and while I'm driving, my eyes are on the road, but I want to leave you a word of encouragement. And perhaps this is going to be the word you need. Yeah, I think so. So I recently heard this word, and it's just been ruminating in my spirit about it's not how you begin that matters, but it's how you end. That your destiny is greater than your genesis. And I cannot even begin to tell you. That's what the Bible says, it's the simplicity of the gospel that saves us. It's the simplicity of that word that is encouraging me today, and I want to encourage you, because even in that simplicity there is such power and potency. And I want to declare that over you today. I don't know what space you're in. I'm not sure what might be going on in your life. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? What goal is set before you right now that just seems so insurmountable? I'm here to tell you right now that it's not how you begin, it's how you end. And all you have to do is to push and to persevere, because it's in that perseverance where grit is built. And let me tell you something, you need grit for this journey. You need tenacity. You need to be ferocious like a lion who's going after its prey. And you have to become lion-like to say, I am going after this with everything that I've got. And some of you right now are in this liminal space, where you don't know if you're going or if you're coming. The liminal space feels like a pit. It feels like a valley. It seems like I'm not going to, I'm not going fro. But I don't want you to be dismayed or be deterred about the goal either, because you're in this liminal space. It is designed for purpose. And one of the things that I have learned over the years is that when you find yourself in this liminal space, you think that it's the end, and you feel like God has given up on you, and you feel like there's nothing that I'm going to be able to accomplish. And I want to say to you, that is a lie. That is a lie from the pit of hell. And your feelings are also deceiving you. That's not the purpose of the liminal space. One of the reasons I've discovered, when you're in that liminal space, sometimes God has to usher you in that space to give you rest. Because sometimes we're going and going and going like a Duracell battery. We're going and going and going, and we're not resting. Some of us are working off fume, and that is not productive. And so sometimes God ushers us into the valley so that we can find rest. One of the other things from my experience that I've learned about that liminal space is to give me clarity. It's to give me clarity, because I cannot work when my mind is foggy. But if you're like me and you're driven, I mean, you'll just go. But I thank God that He knows me, and He knows my end from my beginning, and He knows you need to stop. You need to stop. And so He allows curveballs to be thrown at you. He allows the pathway to become unclear so that you can find clarity. You have to pause for clarity. You have to pause and reset. And so you might find yourself in that liminal space right now. One, it's for rest. Two, it's for clarity, because I got to be able to map out what I'm doing, where I'm going, and when I get there, what am I going to do? It's very, 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 very critical that we understand that this space, this place that you're calling a valley, this place that you're calling a wilderness, this place that you're calling a pit, is by design. It's designed with purpose, right? And the other thing that this liminal space is doing for you, right, what it did for me, is building your character. It's sharpening your character. It's like being on the potter's wheel. Let me tell you something, where God begins to sift, where God begins to saw, where God begins to smooth out areas in your life that he knows that's going to be counterproductive for where you are going. And God says, yes, I'm taking you somewhere higher. I want to elevate you. I want to bring you in those rooms. I want to have you mingle with those of the upper echelon of society. I want you to be around people that are successful. I want you to do this or to do that, whatever it is that God has called you to do. But I know, because I know you, and because I know your end from your beginning, I know that what I've placed on the inside of you, if I allow you to traverse to that place, being in the state that you're in, it's going to almost be a waste of time. And so God allows us to come into spaces like these so that he can do the work, so he can do the editing, so he can do the refining. And I can assure you, you probably heard me say this many, many times. You say, ouch, ouch, ouch. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it, because I've been in the liminal space where it just feels like horror. It just feels like, whoa, I need all this dusting off. I need all of this shaping and rewiring. All of this? For real? But it has been so worth it, because I've seen also the other side, that when God is through and you begin now to walk in a different space, and you begin to realize that your perspective has been shifted, you begin to realize that when you're exposed to certain things, you handle them with such care, with such precision. It's powerful. So I just want to encourage you that, yes, how you begin does not determine how you're going to end. But I also want to clue you in on the liminal spaces that you're going to experience. It's a must. If you want greater, if you want more, if you want acceleration, if you want to go to the mountaintop, I am telling you, this part of the journey is non-negotiable. You have to go through it. You have to go through it. And if you bypass this part of the journey, you might get to the mountaintop, but it won't be long before you topple over, because you won't have the credential that you need to withhold you, to withstand the demand for that place. Because if you go up there with the weight, you're going to lose your breath. You're going to be bogged down. You're going to be weighed down. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. And you won't be equipped for the height. So God knows, and he sees, and he says, I got to rub you down. I got to sand you down. My uncle's a carpenter. I used to see him do that all the time. Just sand down that piece of furniture before it gets ready to be sprayed, painted, right? And you see that smooth, glossy finish. That's what God is trying to do with you. That's what he's trying to do with me. So this space, non-negotiable. You have to go through it. Because if you try to summit a mountain with weights and baggages and trauma and pain and hurt and misunderstanding, before long, you're going to come crashing down. And God don't want that for you. I sure don't want that for you. I want you to be there where you're sustained. God is so good. God is so awesome. He's incredible. He's just amazing. He's altogether lovely. And without him, I cannot do anything. And, you know, personally, having this awareness has just been so enlightening for me. It's as it has allowed me to journey with less murmur, because not to say that I don't think it's hard sometimes, but with less murmur, more thanksgiving, more gratitude, because I know that it's not going to always be like this. I know that I'm just passing through this moment. I know that this moment is needed, even though I don't like it, even though I would just, cringe and I know that it's needful for me, and it's needful every single time you are about to attain something greater. You got to expect going through the liminal spaces. It's so needful. And I think what's hard about the liminal spaces is that God doesn't tell you how long you're gonna be in there, and you have FOMO, fear of missing out, and you feel like I'm missing out on something. Man, look at all the things that are happening that I could be a part of, and God says you ain't ready for it. And you got to know that He's not withholding blessings from you, but in actuality, being in that place is a blessing of itself, because God doesn't want your demise. He doesn't want you to fail. He doesn't want you to be unsuccessful. That's not our God. So being in that space is actually a blessing in disguise, right? I'm telling you. And I know that, but sometimes doesn't make it easier. So for those of us, you're saying, girl, listen. I'm saying, girl, I know. Doesn't make it easier. But I'm saying that it's almost a rite of passage for when you are going higher, that you are brought into the liminal spaces. All right. I hope that is a blessing to you, that it's a blessing and it's not a curse. And God only is going to take you higher so that you can bring glory and honor to His matchless name. There is no name like Jesus. We'll talk soon. Bye now.